Hello and welcome to the show. We are back at the Endurodrome, driving more vehicles till destruction, starting today with a limo. Yes, the Burnside limo. It is quite an impressive looking vehicle, and it is going to hopefully try and survive around this circuit longer. Limos haven't really fared too well, funnily enough, around here. Now, I have given it a slightly beefier engine and a slightly better radiator than the kind of stock configuration. I haven't gone for, there is a drag spec of this, I haven't gone for crazy, ludicrous levels of power, but it's a slightly bigger V8, just to get it going a little bit faster around this circuit. I would still, of course, be worried, potentially, about the old radiator. Truth be told, that is this sort of vehicle likely to be, I say likely to be the cause of death. Suspension on these, as we know, this is some full-on prime wobblematic suspension going on right here, and that is quite difficult to kill. Not impossible, no, but it is quite difficult to kill. So my main concerns with this car for cause of death: radiator leading to overheating, quite an easy one. Drive shaft, of course, it has got to be an immense drive shaft in this to get from the front all the way to the rear wheels. If we start bending up the chassis, it probably wouldn't take long, it wouldn't take many hits before something takes out that drive shaft. So they're the things to kind of watch out for, along with, well, just about anything else that might go wrong around here. As I said, suspension is unlikely to, well, it's difficult to kill on these cars, it is very strong. However, there is also a lot of weight in this, so it's not impossible. We are going to, come on, get through the mud pit. There we go. We have done it in that side limo. A little bit of a wonky line. I did rev the engine slightly, a bit eager, but you've kind of got to, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult actually now getting cars through that mud pit. It's a nasty obstacle. We're going to have some, I don't know if we have the front collapsed slightly or whether we've just, there's a lot of clonking going on. The front right, I'm not so sure on. The radiator did survive all of that though, at least, which is something, which is good. Although the temperature shot up actually quite quickly. Hopefully it'll stay there. If it just don't go any higher than that, and then we are fine. Fingers crossed and everything. Right, bouncy Burnside. We should be, I say we should be okay down there. I perhaps expected a little bit better from the car. Have we got bent front wheel, or is that just? It's slightly bent inwards. We've got some positive camber going on. It's not the worst. We can live with positive camber on the car. I don't know if we're going quite fast enough here. Oh, just. We did get a bit of a slide going on before there. That will not have helped matters. Oh, we're going to go across the pothole quite nasty, across the speed bumps. No real big problems, though, for the Burnside. That is what we like to see. Radiator looks like it's going to survive this first lap in one piece. Some one-tyre fires coming out of the petrol station, but again, not going to really give us too much grief. And across, oh, there goes the radiator, typical. Well, I had to say something, didn't I? Hopefully it's only a small leak. Unfortunately, such a long car, you're just more likely to have, I think, that front end hit the floor. And you kind of hit the floor with quite a lot of weight in these limos. This is not a light vehicle. And sure enough, there goes the radiator. We are hitting that ground quite nastily at the moment. The front subframe would potentially be a concern if the car was going to live long enough. Now, we don't know how bad the puncture is on that radiator. It could be a small leak. We could be okay for a little while. We've probably got at least a lap and a bit before the engine overheats anyway, depending on how badly leaking that radiator is. We've certainly done, I think, some damage to the wobblematic suspension. Certainly the wheels are clipping away nicely, which I don't think they were doing from first time round. It's not from standard, so we've done something to the car. That much is for sure. This is not the angle I wanted to take into here. No, that's not going to work. Okay, we can get through there. We have got to position the vehicle perfectly if we are going to. I mean, actually, from out here, you can see how much we have bananaed the chassis already, pretty much here. Come on, limo. There we go. Good pull out of the mud pit, and we are off and underway once more. Don't really want to go through that mud pit if we can help it. Yeah, you can see how much we've bent up the front, and that's just because it lands. It lands so heavily on the front of the car across these jumps that and there's such a lot of weight that it will just gradually bend that front up, and that's where the fear for the drive shaft comes in. Also a little bit of fear for the steering, I guess. Although the Burnside generally pretty tough, doesn't die easily from steering first. You can see the wheels that have been battered around this course, let's not forget. Not really bent out of position whatsoever. So, yeah, it's a tough old car, this, except for the lower side at the front. Getting hit on the floor a lot, and that's, well, funnily enough, where the radiator, the bottom of the radiator is positioned, and that's where that gets hit. We might make it, we should possibly make it onto a third lap if we could actually get going, find some sort of drive car. Oh, it's actually doing pretty well on the, yeah, it's doing pretty well on the landing there. I feel like it's going to bottom out and tear the drive shaft apart, but it's landing that well enough to be able to carry on here. We're going to drive our way into the petrol station a little bit. Well, we went in there a little bit hot, both in terms of speed and in terms of car temperature, but we are okay. There's just smoke pouring out of, well, everywhere on this. That's, I mean, I say it's not ideal. We are going to at least make it onto a third. It's not going to be much longer, though, is it? It's not. This Burnside is not long for the world, I think. The engine is starting to pack up. We have not got very much speed. It can't decide what gear it wants to be in. That's not going to help matters particularly. Although if it does stay in a higher gear, that would be good. It would stop overheating the engine a little bit, or I say overheat it slightly slower. We are actually not having much. Ooh, we've started having issues with the speed bumps now with that front suspension. Oh, come on, go to a higher gear. There we go. Just sit in the higher gear. Oh, it's gonna have had enough very shortly, I suspect. This is going to have had enough in a very short amount of time. We've lost most of our drive. Oh, that's it conking. That's it conked out. The engine is locked up. We will... I mean, it's actually not a bad distance for a limo, all things considered. However, unfortunately, as much as I had hoped the Burnside might not have had this, or might have survived a bit longer before the radiator went, again, it is that... I would presume the bottom of the radiator getting hit on the floors from the jumps, and once that's gone, it's always going to overheat. You can see the bend we've got going on in the car. Don't know how long that drive shaft would have been for this world. As I said, you can see the damage to the wheels. The wheels have taken a little bit of a battering, but in the end, it's just too much for the radiator to manage. Up next, we have got something that's not going to have to worry about a radiator. This is the Auto Bellow. It is an air-cooled vehicle. Now, we did run a sport version of this car a little while ago around the Endurodrome, and it actually did pretty well for what it was. Theoretically, then, this Baja version could go much further. After all, we have got big, beefy off-road suspension, off-road tyres. Should be ideal for surviving the demands of this course. There are a couple of concerns with it, however, chief among which, rolling. Yeah, you see, all of this ground clearance is great for dealing with bumps, for climbing over stuff. However, it does give the vehicle a much higher centre of mass, and this is a fairly narrow car as well, which means through heavy cornering, we may get up onto two wheels, but lands of jumps, if it bounces awkwardly, this is going to fall over. This is going to fall over quite a lot, and having such ground clearance, the wheels are quite exposed. So not only is it going to fall over a fair bit, I would imagine at least, it is also potentially going to damage the wheels easier when it's falling over. So that's not, the best. That's not the best. We saw with the Outlaw, for example. Admittedly, okay, that had full-on open wheels. That was surviving very well. Incredibly strong off-road vehicle. Kept going for a long time. One roll and that tore all its wheels off. So we've got to be, whoa, careful. I maybe don't want to take that line into the mud pit. Oh, landed it. Oi, we did land it as well. Nicely done. Can I actually get out of the mud pit? This should be able to, theoretically. It has got in a very thick bit of mud. This should be able to pull its way out of the mud pit. It is rear-wheel drive, however, off-road tyres, fairly light as well. Should be able to climb its way out, no problem at all. We might actually need to take that slightly differently with this car. We can get away with taking it slightly differently in this, come to think of it. Unlike a lot of the cars that really are just relying on... there's a problem at the front. That's not good. Now, I was expecting that to sort of be an issue that we would come across. Was not expecting it to be an issue that we would come across this early on. That's a very I guess that's from landing in the mud pit. It's bent the wheel. That is a very, very unfortunate... now, we are not allowed to reverse the car to sort it out. I have a feeling, I have a horrible feeling, that this... Oh, we are going to maybe... Well, we can just be sneaky here. This is going to have trouble. This is going to have trouble. And that is the issue. Pretty much perfectly timed with the more extreme off-road vehicles. If something goes a bit wrong... I mean, that was a very violent roll for the Auto Bellow. If something does go wrong with this, you're in trouble because the wheels get bent up quite easily. Right, so we have some sort of steering to the left. We have some sort of steering to the left. My bigger concern really is positioning this now for, well, positioning it for the chicanes is going to be difficult. I would in many ways rather that wheel fell off. If we could happen to hit that wheel in such a way that it falls off, that would be good news for me. Come on car, we can do this. We can make this. Alright, big jump. Have we still got the speed in this to get over the big jump? I fear we're fighting the steering too much. This is probably not going to go nicely for the poor car. Oh, that's not gone nicely at all. Have we torn the wheel off? Ah, we've put the wheel inside out. Is that better for me? Oh, might actually be slightly better in some ways. We have torn the wheel in quite a bad... Oh, come on. I need the hills to go the other way for us. Can we get any sort of steering on this? Oh, no, we got the wrong side of the trees. This might actually be in a lot of trouble here. This might be in a lot of trouble here because we've got ourselves going down a hill and I don't think we can get back up again. No! No! Baja bug! Baja bug, why? Oh, crap. I mean, I guess we might... I think we're very stuck now down here. Oh, have we got the wheel in a better place? We might be able to climb our way back out of here. It has now almost folded the wheel back into a more helpful position. Okay, we're taking a little bit of a detour. I don't think it's going to last long, let's face it. That front wheel is hanging on by a thread. That wheel is just going to continue to give us grief. I can't turn left with this. I'm trying everything to do it. We've got to go very, very slowly if we're going to turn left. Even if I make it into the chicane, I don't know if we get to the petrol station. I don't know if we can get out the other side. Can I even get in the petrol station? Here we go. We're getting into the petrol station. No, we're not. I don't think we're going to make that. No. That's gone. That I tried to get the steering. I thought I'd got it sorted. I think we'd have massive issues actually trying to get it out the other side of the petrol station anyway. And there we have the inherent problems, the inherent dangers with the Baja vehicles. That's actually collapsed. Has that collapsed the top part of the suspension on that side as well? I am going to reverse it out here just so I can spin the camera around and have a look. Yeah, what it looks like it's done is we have lost a... So, on this side, if we go for... can we just go... We'll go for a real slow down with the old... oh, thought that would work. It hadn't worked. I was going to go for a slow down of the old camera speed. Can't remember how to do it. Oh, there we go. Slow down the old camera speed. On this side, we've got suspension bottom and suspension... So, you've got the bottom arm down here, top arm up there. There's your tie rod, and so on. On that side's fine. We go over this side, and we've got... Oh, the bottom arm. Top arm's gone. Tie rod's... Somehow, I'm amazed that tie rod is still on there. Still kind of moving it, but because the top bit's just floating essentially, it's just flinging that wheel around randomly, and unfortunately it can't pull it back to steer left. So, yeah, I mean it's unlucky. It was unlucky for the vehicle. That is the dangers that you get with these more extreme off-road ones. They get a little bit unlucky in the mud pit, for example, and bye-bye to the front wheel. Our final vehicle to run through the course today is something quite silly. Yes, we are going to drive a Formula 1 car around the Endurodrome. This is the FR17. Now, I have gone for the, let's say, off-road spec. It has wet tyres, which do give it a little bit more grip in the dirt, which it's probably going to need, let's be honest. Truth is, this survives a lap, I will be amazed. Now, these cars are stronger than you think. For example, we will get across these bits here without completely shattering everything. And I will have to be careful with the car. Now, the rules for this series, I've got to drive a vehicle as hard as I can. That's all very well and good, but on a very tight, very technical course such as this one, especially when we get to the dirt, I cannot really use all that much power because, well, it just is undrivable. It will just spin the wheels. So I do actually have to be quite careful with this car. It does have immense levels of grip. There is nothing else like this in terms of grip. But you're very, very easy to spin if you drive like a Muppet. We have actually dealt with the first part of this course pretty well here. We got up to 100 miles an hour. Nothing else has done that pretty much down there. And then we go into the mud pit where we are probably going to need to be dragged out. No, actually, Formula 1 car. Turns out, Formula 1 car, very good. Very good indeed through the mud pit. Across the rock garden. That's not so good. Uh-oh. Please come back down without shattering everything. We've shattered a lot of important bits. You see, this did a roll without completely disintegrating its front wheel. I mean, it's quite bad. As ever, open-wheeled cars are not the best for this sort of thing. I'm amazed it's still going, I'm going to be honest. Please beat the Baja car. That would just be funny. That would just be funny. We got to go play over there, which is not very fun. I say not very fun. Actually, this is dealing with this section pretty well. I wonder if it's all the downforce, basically, that goes on with this. Oh, I might have left it too late to turn. Or might have not realised the amount of turning that we need with this. Whoa. Come on now, get in a straight line, please. I'm actually quite concerned. We should be fast enough to make it up here, but I'm a little bit concerned the amount... Oh, the aero... I say the aero, the way it pulls the car down to the ground is a little bit funky there. Oh... Okay, this is bad news for the car here. It's stuck upside down in a tree. I'm sorry, engine. I've got to try and get the car out of here as best I can without actually completely wrecking it. I mean, the downforce is all gone skew-whiff now, which is not ideal. Oh, that rear wheel is completely knackered. Okay, I think... Nope, it's still got some drive. Okay. We're fine. We've slightly eaten our rear wing. It's vibrating like crazy. But we are good, and we are still technically fast enough to be allowed to carry on around the course. We are shattering bits of car. I have a feeling the rear axle is at some point going to tear itself apart here. Go. Kind of tempted to see what first person is like in this. Oh, the vibrations! You would not be able to drive. You would not be able to see straight. That wheel is going to tear itself apart. The car is going to tear itself apart in a, very, very soon, I suspect. Oh, that's more of the rear gone. Amazed it survived that. Now, I am allowed to reverse through here. This is not from steering failure. This is because I just crashed the back of the car into a bit of concrete. Whoop, there we go. Now, put my foot down a little bit. Oh, there goes the rear wing. We've disintegrated that. It's done a lap! The Formula 1 car has actually done a lap around this circuit. It's not done a lap very well. I mean, it has kind of got to the point where it is now so broken that it's very, very difficult to damage it more because I actually just physically can't drive it. It's still just about fast enough to be allowed to go here. Oh, I feel sorry for that. I mean, let's face it, the poor driver's spine is long gone around here. But the... It might be one of the more impressive failures. Again, oh, radiator's gone. Okay, it's going to overheat. That's probably for the best. I was going to say, if this thing goes out from overheating, I'll be amazed. The way this has gone, it's kind of... It's gone very, very strangely for a Formula 1 car. Oh, wow. Can we get back down on the ground? There we go. Yeah, there's almost so much grip from the rear that as it's flailing about, it's just doing bad things to the car. I'm amazed that drive shaft has survived this. I kind of want to put foot down and see what it does, but I think we're just going to spin. We've got massive holes going on either side of the... where the radiators would have been, which has kind of torn everything out of that. How long? Surely we can't make it around another lap, not like this. Surely this is at some point going to snap an important thing. That level of vibration going on in the car cannot be good for anything. I say that, but we have gone for half a lap like this now, and it is still technically working. Only just. It's somehow still got enough steering to make it around the corners. I mean, only just, but there we go. We are not really able to get much above 30. We're going to spin again. I'm going to maybe just try put it in a higher gear, see if that works. Oh, game keeps automatically changing me down. No, I want you to go in higher gears. Why is it? Oh, it's like a semi-automatic gearbox in this. I just want you to stay in... No, don't change down gears. Oh, stop it, you stupid engine. Guess what? It's like an anti-stall thing. Wants me to be in the lower gears for setting off. Oh, what has gone on with that rear wheel? Have we lost all the rear suspension? I think we might have done... Oh, that might actually be good. That might actually help us. If all the suspension's gone, have we torn all of it off now? Amazingly, the Formula 1 car gets through the mud even with everything broken. Right. Okay, whatever we've torn off there is better. I don't know what the rear wheel's doing. The rear wheel is just randomly wandering around here. But we tore off all the suspension, so it's now stopped trying to keep the rear wheel in check. Oh, this is much better. This is much better. We could drive for a while like this. I mean, we're not going to, because we're going to overheat, and that's that. But, oh, ow, ow. We're beached on the rocks. Now I'm allowed to recover the cars if they get beached on the rocks. There we go. We are free, Formula 1 car. Be free. Try and accelerate as best you can, at least, out of here. Oh, I can't believe it's still going. I can't believe it's going to probably be overheating now, because... yeah, I mean, I can just about keep it going in a straight... It's very, very difficult to keep this going in a straight line now. The rear wheel has stopped vibrating, which makes life easier, but it's... I mean, the front wheels, you can see how bad the front wheels are. The rear wheel is continually changing its position in relation to the rest of the car. The suspension is having to work overtime on the one wheel that is good back there. The one wheel that is good is at least, you know, in a fairly good position. That is pointing straight, and that isn't horrendously cambered for now. Although that's probably going to change at the rate we're going with this. Oh, come on, Formula 1 car. If you can make it on to 3 laps, that would be incredible. No one would have put money on it. I certainly wouldn't have done. The way you've torn yourself apart is unusual, to say the least. However... How is that drive shaft still going? I will never know. I'm trying to get some power down here, but we are... Wow, that's scary. We're up to 40 miles an hour. Here we go. Just boot it. No, I was booting it and hoping we could make it over there. I've just got it into more trouble. Car, it has actually got stuck in... Like, this was stuck in gear, so we've got to fight against it to get it back out of there, and then we've got to flip the car over. Oh! It got flipped over a little bit too viciously. Oh, come on. Over we go, car. This is a very awkward shape to flip over. It's very difficult to grab stuff. Right. Where are we going? Back to this one here. Oh, not again. Oh, dear. Here we go. Violently shake your way towards the start-finish line. I just need you. I mean, this might actually now be under threat for crawler rule if this doesn't. If I cannot drive this up to... We've got to get it past 20 miles an hour, which we have done just, but it's... Oh, something snapped in there. I don't know what did it. Something has gone very badly wrong. Are we going to get you beached on a speed bump? Now, we are capable, surprisingly, of climbing over these. Then the engine's going to overheat soon. Got over debris. I don't really have much control over whether we go over debris or not in this car. It's... Wow, I think the tyre, the shredded tyre, is just catching on bits of terrain that suddenly finds grip, which then spins me round uncontrollably. And the fact we've got no ground clearance anymore means the front wheels are barely touching to do any steering. Oh, we might go out of steering failure almost through here. Come on. Come on, FR17. You can make it. Keep going with whatever's left of your wheels, whatever's left of your tyres. Come on, the finish line is just up ahead. I really want you to stop changing me down gears, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I've got bigger problems to worry about, let's be honest, than the gearbox, than the temperature. Can I drive you through this chicane? Have I still got enough steering to get you through here? We're going to beach it, but we are going to at least get out the other side. Come on, we are going to just steer our way through. Everything's flapping, everything's broken, the engine's about to die. But, come on, limp and crawl. Hey, it's done a wiggle and it's across the line. It's onto its 3rd lap. Bloody hell, it's in a very, very poor way. It's in a very, very poor way. We are just still again fast enough. Oh, hey, we've lost that tyre entirely. Look at it go. That has made handling considerably better. That side of the car is, yeah, I mean, the one good side we have got is, say good side. Good side is a very relative term in this. Good side is a very relative term in this car. Now, I'm allowed to, again, this was pointing the wrong way from a roll, so I'm allowed to reverse that to straighten up. Steering is very bad as well. Everything's bad in this car. There is not a good bit on it. No, there isn't actually. The wing mirrors are still on it, somehow. I don't know how the wing mirrors are still on it. We are just staying above 20 miles an hour. Come on. Into the chicane we go. It's coming out the other side where I fear we're going to have issues here. Come on, FR17. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Come on, make it across those big old speed bumps. Yeah, we're not going really fast enough to damage it much more there. How is this engine not completely overheated? I guess because I can't use any power at all now because we are so broken. At 20, 30 miles an hour, it doesn't overheat quite as quickly as when you're doing 50 and 60 around here. We've got back up to 30, and we're almost at the speed that the policeman would want to talk to you about. There we go. Now a policeman might want to talk to you about it, depending on where you were. It's very difficult to drive at 30. How are you alive? You're still going. It might not be for much longer. I think the engine is now slowly... Oh, the engine's coughing. I think the engine is going to... Oh, there it goes, actually. That is the engine. That is the engine destroyed in the Formula 1 car. Who would have thought it would have been overheating in this that would have been... engine locked up. What a show, though. What a show. It is perhaps the most spectacular failure I have ever seen from a car. And it's a Formula 1 car. Something's flashing on. I was curious what it was saying on the thing. Engine stalled, restart it. Yeah, engine's not going to restart, I'm afraid. I mean, from here things look bad. But not as bad as they look from the outside. That has got to be one of my favourites around this course. What an impressive run. Hell, to have gotten to a third lap for a Formula 1 car. Admittedly, its disintegration in some ways helped it. It made it so broken. At 30 or 40 was all I could ever take anywhere. But the fact a drive shaft didn't let go in that does surprise me. Yeah, in the end we took a radiator out. And that would be the cause of death. Technically will be overheating. A lot more went wrong with that car, though, than overheating. On to our leaderboard, and it would be the Burnside limo that would go furthest of the day, up in a 39th position. Not bad for the big car. Onto the lap 3, it is the furthest a limo has got around here, comfortably beating the Regency limo. The standout performance, and perhaps one of the standout performances of this entire series, the FR17 managing to somehow make its way onto a third lap. It doesn't quite beat the Regency, it doesn't quite beat the Burnside limo, but beats the Sunstrip, the Bolide Group 4, the Microvet, the MX-5. That's a hell of a distance for a Formula 1 car, and a lot of it was in some interesting conditions. As I say, it put on a great show, and in many ways that's the important thing. We do have to go a bit further down, quite a lot further down in fact, to find the Auto Bellow, the Baja version. It was unlucky. It was very unlucky. Went out on the first lap with some steering failure there. We just about limped its way around a bit, but... yeah, an awkward landing. It was actually the landing on the rock, off the rock pit, essentially, that bent that front wheel. Yeah, it's unlucky. However, that's what can happen to those sort of cars. They just end up at the wrong angle. That will snap the thing apart. That, though, is going to be it for this video. As ever, I shall link all the mods used in the description so you can download them and have a go with them yourself. But that'll be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.